So we'll talk about a couple reasons why diets don't work, all right? So number one, they're just not sustainable. There's a little rule or question that I love. This is powerful. Anytime you're doing any type of nutritional change, if you say, could I see myself eating like this in 2 years? And the answer is no, you will fail. So that's the good news. Before even embarking on anything, if you just ask that one question, can I see myself doing this in 2 years consistently? And the answer is no, you will fail. And not that failure is bad, but life is short, time is finite. Why go down a road where you're going to get to the destination of failure? Instead say, okay, if that's the case, I got to look at a different channel. I got to look at something else. So that's a super powerful question. So yeah, diets aren't sustainable. The word diet, if nobody noticed, has the word die in it. It's usually linked to suffering, right? That you got to suffer and tough it out. And the reality is, if you're motivated enough, you can tough out anything. But everybody has a tipping point. Everybody has a threshold. Nobody is Superman. Nobody's invincible. You will hit the ceiling, and when you do hit the ceiling, you're going to crash and burn. So you want to avoid that from the get-go. You don't want to even venture to that territory at all. So another thing why diets don't work, exclusion. This is a big one. So diets say eat this, but don't eat that. As soon as you say eat this and don't eat that, you're a little screwed. I'll tell you why. Because when you start to label foods with negativity, that these foods are bad and these foods are good, what's going to happen, and it happened to me 100 times, when you consume those bad foods, you're going to feel guilt, you're going to feel shame, and usually what follows that is some type of binging or overeating or something because you feel like you broke your diet, right? So just labeling foods as good or bad sets yourself up for failure, okay? So my whole thing is be inclusive of all foods. Once you're accepting of all foods and you remove the labels, you just have foods that have more nutrients and you have foods that have less nutrients. Okay, fine, but we eat food. And yeah, you can have a burger, you can eat sugar, you can do all these things. Yeah, you can't have it all the time, morning to evening, every day, because for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And if you just eat sugar all day, well, look at basic science, you're going to have some physiological problems. But the key is to dance with the devil, which is an expression that I love. And the devil really in this case, with that connotation, are the bad foods. It's to work with it. It's not to exclude them. So again, one of the reasons why diets fail is they approve certain things and exclude certain things. And when you have those things that you're not supposed to have, like I said, you're going to binge. It's going to happen. You're going to be thrown off track. So again, you want to avoid that territory. So while a crazy diet might give you short-term results, it is not the gateway to long-term results. Okay? Another problem with diets, they're not person-specific. So you see this diet plan, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this plan, and you try and put it on top of you. You're like, this plan onto me. But you haven't considered who you are, your lifestyle, your likes, your dislikes, and all this type of information. So you're trying to fit a glove to a hand where the glove's not going to fit. It's not going to work. We think it's going to work, and you kind of get the glove kind of on, and you think in your head like, yeah, it's fitting, and you try and convince yourself that it's working, but it's not going to work. And then eventually you're going to have a problem and an issue with that. So these diets, where it's these cookie cutter programs that people are looking at, they're trying to fit them to their life. It doesn't mesh with their lifestyle, and then they end up having these problems, okay? And then the fourth one, which I talked about earlier, your identity and your belief systems, right? So diets don't work in a sustainable long-term way because they don't go to change your belief systems and how you're looking at the world. So it's like, eat this. Okay, but have you changed how you're looking at things? No. So again, it's going to be short-term results. It's not going to be long-term. So those are the reasons why diets aren't working.